side is certainly has its own issues. I mean, nobody puckers up quicker than the lenders when you start to get to the end of a cycle. They constrict and they're very risk averse. But luckily for us, we have a lot of sophisticated capital in our space that has deep relationships with their lenders, most of which have done many deals with these groups. So the educational side, that certainly helps, that relationship that they have. Some are better than others, but it's still a challenge. I mean, even if you've been in this space for 20, 30 years, this is still a pretty new practice. I mean, this started about 10 years ago, just doing this, and in a rising tide, all ships, this works very well. Moving dynamic pricing rates and working tenants up, and you can really maximize there. Well, when you have pressures the other way, you have to kind of look at your model and say, okay, how do we make this work in the context of a declining market? Here we got a little bit of taste of it during the supply that happened over the last 5 years. There we had pressure on rates and we were kind of moving them around, but we're still as an industry working through how to best do this. But look, our job as brokers is to try to educate and present the assets in the best possible light that we can back up. And it has been a bit of a challenge, doing that, because if you look across at your comp set, for example, you're going to see low rates in there. The issue is you can't get in and look at those rent rolls there. That's not public knowledge there. All the thing that's public knowledge is those street rates. So we've paid a lot of attention to in-place rent rolls, dissecting those rent rolls, showing what the ECRIs have done. Are the tenants sticky? That certainly helped. And then giving context, of where these marketplaces were prior to, this rundown in rates and where they could potentially get back to. But sometimes it works great, and sometimes it doesn't. The more risk that continues to be priced in, the more uncertainty. Buyer pool, lender will typically go, if they don't see line of sight, they'll typically go to the kind of the more conservative side of things if you can't present them with enough data to get them to see otherwise.